What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. You'll get notifications anytime I upload new content or plan live videos just like this one. And if this is your first time here, again, welcome. And in case you don't know, I typically go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then I have some topics that I want to discuss, and while I am discussing those, I go into the live comments and interact with you, the viewers, and we just have a very good time. And you viewers are what make this show what it is. Without you guys, I'm just a guy sitting here flapping my gums, talking to my camera for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and if you go back and watch any of my previous videos, I'm pretty good at it. So, you know, I'm still gonna talk to you whether you're here or not. But thank you all so much for being here once again. Now, before I get into my comic books or anything that I have to talk to about today, I just wanted to let you all know once again, just like I did last week, make sure you go down in the description here and check out Drunk 3PO. He's a pretty cool guy. He's got some videos coming up, but on Sundays he does a live show called Some Black Guys and a Drunk, and I have actually been on that show. I was there just last Sunday. It's a very good time. Just some guys getting together and discussing things going on in the news and pop culture, be it movies, music, comic books, and different things like that. Very cool channel. Drunk 3PO is a very legit dude. Again, go down in the description, check him out, hit those notifications so you get that notification when we go to do that live video this Sunday. Plus, I think he might have something a little bit extra cooking up for us in the next day or two, and I can't wait to see it. And, okay, now the other thing that I wanted to talk about before I get into that, in case you guys are first-timers here, like I said, I go over my comic book pull list, but this is your opportunity to kind of get to know me a little bit better, as most of my opinions are just kind of myself, just more things about myself I don't normally show in a lot of the videos that I do here on the channel. It's more about doing a comic book review or presenting a theory or, you know, just things like that. So this is where you get to know me a little bit better. But all that being said, let's go ahead and get to some of the comic books that I pulled for the week. Now, this first one isn't one that I actually pulled this week. It's one that's actually probably several months old, and you know, I'm just now talking about it, just now getting around to reading it. I didn't get a whole lot of reading done because I had some family in town, but this first one is a little bit old. That is Army of Darkness and Bubba Hotep issue number 1. And I gotta say, growing up, I was a huge fan of Sam Raimi and the Army of Darkness. I've never actually seen Bubba Hotep, I've got to confess. I mean, I've seen like parts of it, I've just never seen the whole thing. But I think I kind of get the general idea of it, and yes, I still have to see it. But anyway, that being the case, this book, really good book. Who is it? Written by Scott Duvall. The artist is Vincenzo Frederici. The colorist is Michelle Monti, and the letterer is Taylor Esposito. You can see all that right in there. But I gotta tell you, I got through this first issue and it was funny. It reminded me just of watching Army of Darkness. I'm sure it's probably how Bubba Hotep was. A lot of the dialogue and everything in this book, it really cracked me up. I really did like what was going on here. A bunch of funny stuff, and you can see right there the art in this book is it's very good. This book is out on Dynamite Comics. You guys know I'm a huge Marvel fan, been dipping my toes into some DC and even getting into some indie books, and I've quite been liking those. And now Dynamite is a smaller press. They're still pretty big for what they are, but I've got to say I've liked this book so far. I can't wait to get into the other issues that I have. I believe I've got 3 more issues to get caught up on the series. Good book. I like what they're doing with this book. I don't expect the quality of this book to go down at all. Not at all. Okay, the next one I have here is one, you know, some of these I didn't get to read. Like I said, I didn't get a whole lot to read. But the next one I want to talk about is this Marvel Comics Presents issue number 6. Okay, now, last week, before I went into the comic shop, I was told by Professor Bill over at Comic Book University, you guys should go check out his channel, maybe support him on Patreon as well, and make sure you check out Drunk 3PO's Patreon and go support him there as well. Good guys doing good things. But one thing they talked about was making sure that you go pick up this issue, and I kind of wish, when I was there, I almost picked up a second copy of this book, and I really wish I would have. When I went to the comic book store this week to pick up my pull list, this book, I paid $4.99 for it, okay? This book went up in price 10 times. It was $49.99 at my local comic book shop. For just the value on it, because there are some important things that happen in this issue, and if you happen to know what those are, let me know down in the comments below if you got a chance to read it and what you thought about it. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to read it, but I know what happens in this book. You know, some of the things there. So definitely something cool. The other one I want to talk about today is this one right here, Arrow issue number 1. Now, you guys know, this is a number 1 issue I've talked about before. About a lot of things I will probably pull number 1s to see how they are, see if it's something good, if it's not, you know. And a lot of the times, you know, the number 1 issues are really kind of the first ones you want to get into. I mean, when a new series is kicking off, so you might as well. Again, this Arrow, as you can see there, it's more of like an anime style. This character was actually introduced during the War of the Realms story, so this is actually their first book. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't got to read this one, but I am hearing good things about it. You know, when I was just watching Young Rippa 59 here on YouTube, Eric July, if you guys, I'm sure if you're here on my channel, maybe you follow him. If you don't, maybe you should go check him out. But he was actually talking about it, and actually he read it and actually recommended it, which I thought was a little odd because he's on his comic books earlier this week. You know, he's such a busy guy. You know, he's, you know, much like myself and much like a lot of us, very, very busy guy, and he actually got a chance to get into that one. I'm sure he was actually anticipating it, as am I. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, but I can't wait to get into this, and it is, you know, like I said, it's a new number 1, and then in 2 weeks, we've got another one getting ready to come out that is Swordmaster. And both of these characters were introduced during the War of the Realms. I believe it was in the New Agents of Atlas series, tie-ins to that. So I'm not for sure because I didn't read all the tie-ins, okay? So I can't 100% be for sure there, but I'm pretty sure. And like I said, Swordmaster is getting ready to come out in 2 more weeks. Another Japanimation style book that is getting ready to hit the shelves. And then I believe the week after that, in 3 weeks, we're getting ready to get Death's Head, which is I believe it's a European like rock band kind of thing. It looked, I don't know, apparently he's been around and just now coming to Marvel Comics, big, you know, US release and stuff. I honestly don't know a whole bunch about it. I did read about it in the comic book solicit, and I don't know, it looks pretty interesting. I'm sure I'll pick up that number 1 as well. Now, the other comic book that I wanted to talk about this week was one that I actually heard of from Young Rippa 59 over there, over here on YouTube. I was on his channel one day, and he was actually had Preston Poulter from Pocket Jack Comics on his channel talking about this issue of White Lily. And now he had an Indiegogo going on, and the campaign kind of got ruined because you know, just the comic book landscape has been really weird over the past few years. Comicsgate and all this stuff. Well, apparently he kind of became a victim of that in some sort of way. I don't know enough about it, but Preston Poulter, Pocket Jack Comics, you should go check him out here on YouTube. He actually kind of went into that over, you know, just one of his artists or something being just controversy. You know how things get these days. Everything's so convoluted, and people are just screaming for all kinds of stuff. And man, you know, just a whole mess of things that happened. But he did still get his book. He already had it a completed thing on Kickstarter for issue number 3, and he had it actually on Indiegogo to get other people into it. But then he started one on Backstarter. I'll see if I can get a link down in the description for that as well, so you can go check it out. Again, that's Pocket Jack Comics, Preston Poulter. Go check him out. I did get a chance to read White Lily issue number 1, and I gotta say, I've never really read any kind of like war books or anything like that. This one is about female fighter pilots back in World War II, and I've gotta say, like, I thought the story was pretty good. Like I said, I've never read a story like this. Young Rippa, he had him on his channel, he suggested it, so I went ahead and ordered some of the books there from online, you know, from that Kickstarter that he had. I think he put it on, I can't remember what they call it, like Backstarter or something like that. It's just I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna leave a link down in the comments so you can go check it out and see if you can buy these books digitally. You can buy digital downloads, or you can even buy actual prints of the books. I got a print of issue number 3 heading my way, but I did go ahead and purchase the digital downloads as well, and I did like it. I thought the story was pretty good for issue number 1. I mean, introduced us to the characters and kind of led us into the world and really set up the story for what we're going to be getting going forward. Just to the best of my guesses, it did everything that an issue 1 needs to do. The other thing I did like about it was the art. The art I thought in it was, I thought, you know, it was a little bit different than, you know, get out of a lot of the Marvel books or DC books that I've read and everything. Now, there was, I did notice a little bit of inconsistencies and things like that, but for me, that's nothing that I'm gonna nitpick at, because I like the story that was going on so far. And this is an indie book. This is a small indie writer, so it's not like he's got the biggest artists working on it or anything like that. I'm sure he went out and found some of the best people that he could to make this book, and like I said, I think they pulled it off and did a pretty solid job. Now, I've still got to read through issue number 2. I've got issue number 3, so I've got the first 3 issues. I can't remember. I think this was going to be like a 5 or 6 series arc, but it is actually a tie-in to a screenplay that he has wrote that is supposed to be being adapted into a movie. So, hopefully we get to see a little bit more about that in the near future, as far as the film or anything like that. I won't confess to know that there's an actual film being made, but it is from his screenplay or story for a film. So hopefully that actually does come about. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately, he did, like I said, his Indiegogo campaign kind of got thwarted by kind of getting caught up in this whole mishmash of whatever is going on with Comicsgate. Like I said, if you guys are here on my channel, I just got back into reading last year, so I'm not completely well versed on all the stuff going on in the comic books or anything like that in the comic book world. But I've kind of looked into some of it and kind of have a little bit of idea what's going on. So anyway, I did get a chance to go, and he emailed me about the campaign and everything, and so I was like, oh man, well that's a shame. I wanted to read, and that's when he told me about the back kit or back starter kit, whatever they call it. And so I went over there and purchased them. Went ahead and threw my support still anyway, hoping these books continue to be the good quality that they are in this first issue so far. Now, that's all I really have for my comic book pull list, or for my comic books that I pulled this week. But let me know down in the comments, did you guys read any new comic books this week? If did you read any of these, or have you read any of these ones that I'm talking about? Let me know what you thought about them down in the comments below if you did get a chance to. Now, we are getting ready to get into the live show here. Got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things going on in the world of movie news, and just kind of, with the nerdy stuff, comic books, and, just other things outside of that. We got Tom Holland has been pretty big in the news lately. We got The Little Mermaid, obviously. We've heard casting rumors about that and everything, and people are pretty bent out of shape about stuff. And me over here, I like to talk about these things and kind of give my 2 cents on them, and that's what I do here in these videos. That's what we're here on the Trailer Park Live for. Like I said, I don't normally do a whole lot of that in my well-produced videos. I like to keep those, like I said, talking about specifically what I'm talking about. And like I said, when it comes to some of these all these interviews and things being taken out of context, or even just different things like that, the casting rumors and stuff like that. I'm a fan of stuff. I don't like lazy writing. I don't, tokenize characters and all that. I mean, we can get into all that, but it's nothing that I try to put too much stock into, just because for me as a fan, I feel I've got better things to worry about. But it's something that we are going to be talking about tonight. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you 3 tips to help you achieve success and avoid failure. Now, before I get into that, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. I talk a lot about comics, movies, and even music. So, if you like that kind of stuff, you should stick around. And, sometimes I talk about things like this, things to help you get motivated. Now, like I said, I do have some tips. Now, this is a new series that I am calling Superhero Life Tips. Now, these 3 things that I'm getting ready to cover, I believe are things that are essential and will help you achieve success and avoid failure. Because I'm sure we've all started, maybe a new fitness program, a new diet, or even a small business. Now, in case you guys don't know a little about me, I am a small business owner myself. I have 3 kids, I have a family, and I even have a bunch of different hobbies, some of which include being a nerd, and, some others which include reading and things like that. I have read a lot of self-help improvement, self-improvement books and things like that. But not only that, I have actually been in leadership positions in basically in corporate America, and have helped actually do a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about in these videos. So when I say I didn't just read some books, I've actually went out there and lived everything that I'm going to be talking about. So, like I said, we've all started a new health program, we've all started a new job or anything like that. I'm sure we've all done it. And these three things are what are going to help you. The first thing is, anytime you're embarking on something new, you're getting ready to head out to the gym, you got to have a roadmap for your success. You've got to have a plan. And, along this, you've got to, you've got to go out there, you've got to research what you're going to be doing. What new business are you going to be going into? What's the demographic of people there? What's the average income? When you go to the gym, what are you going to do? Because you can't just go in there all lackadaisic, working out your biceps, your chest, and just everything all in the same day. There's a schedule that you're going to want to follow. You got to have a plan. You starting a new diet? You got to know what to eat. It's not just as simple as, maybe just start eating things that you think are healthier, because there's a lot of things out there that, say that, this is healthy, eat this. That's not necessarily the case. And just like anything else, you're heading out to the gym, there's a lot of people that are going to tell you what to do. Oh, do this, do that. You've got to have a plan. And that's what tip number 1 is all about. Have that roadmap. Go out and research. Know what you're getting yourself into. And, along with that roadmap, not only knowing what you need to do, you've got to set yourself goals along the way and have an end goal. You got to know where you're starting, you got to know where you want to finish, and set little goals along the way to track your progress so that you are getting, just heading further towards your goal. Have just little ones along the way. They help ensure that you're going to be successful and that you're doing the right things. And if not, you can always go back in there and kind of tweak that plan and see what you need to do to change that so you can actually hit your goal. Which actually brings me into the next one, which is tip number 2. That's have realistic goals. Don't be overly ambitious. If you're gonna head into the gym and just blast your arms out one day, and the next day, you can't do anything else. You can barely lift your arms. The next day, 2 days later, you're still hurting, and you're supposed to be, maybe you're supposed to be hitting your pecs that day, but your biceps are still blasted and you can't move them. This is going to be no good if you are going into the gym. So, you've got to have some realistic goals and don't be overly ambitious, because like I said, this will segue me into my next tip, but you got to have realistic goals. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. Just don't be overly ambitious. You don't want to go out there and kill yourself one day. You want to be consistent, which brings me into tip number 3. Consistency. You want to be able to head into the gym every single day and be consistent. If you're starting that new plan, that new diet plan, you want to be consistent in what you're doing every single day, even if that's just being consistent with taking baby steps, cutting out soda, not drinking your calories, just drinking water. Start with that. Something simple, then move on to, cutting something else out. Or my suggestion, if you're starting something new that I always tell everybody is, why don't you just start with eating a big salad every day, eating a lot of vegetables, just one time a day. Eat how you normally eat, cut out your sodas, and eat a big salad. Something simple. Start with those tests, and it starts with consistency. Do something that's realistic, like the last tip. Do something that's realistic and just do it every day and increase every day. Whether you're increasing your weight, which you don't want to increase that every day. It's progression. But you got to, make little steps every day just to get a little bit better. Push a little bit harder. That's it. You just got to be, you got to have your roadmap for your success. You've got to have that plan. You've got to go out there and have realistic goals without being overly ambitious and have consistency. Like I said, you head into all these 3 things are going to help you. You don't just head into the gym, like I said, blast your arms out. You can't move for the next couple of days, because then by the time you're working out that next body part, you're basically starting back over at square one, and that is pretty much pointless. You want to be able to do something every day. So even though you can go in there and say you're just starting out again, and say you can curl those 40-pound weights. Oh yeah, you're big and tough, but you could do those through your whole program and then still be able to do something the next day. Drop it down a bit. Don't be overly ambitious, because that consistency is what's going to be your key. If you're starting a new business, same thing applies. The exact same thing applies. You've got to, have that little roadmap for success. You got to know what you want to do every day. You've got to challenge yourself if you're starting your new business. Are you looking for prospects? You got to go out there and look for, 5, you know, if you're starting out with 5 or 10, get into 10 businesses within your first day if you're doing something like that, or to get in contact with 10 clients of whatever it is you are trying to do, and just start with doing that every single day, and you know, just adding a little bit more in. What else is it you're gonna do? Okay, are they willing to buy whatever you're wanting or whatever it is you're doing? You've got to be prepared. Have that roadmap and have those realistic goals. Know that every, you know, say maybe every 10 businesses that you contact or 10 people you talk to or go into, out of all of those 10, you might only get one person that actually says yes, wants to do business with you, wants your product or anything like that. Maybe 1 out of 10. So, you know, you've got to know that if you want 2 a day, you've got to go see 20 people. If that's your average, it could be lower than that. And chances are, if it's new, it probably is going to be lower. And the other thing is, you want to be consistent. You got to go out there every day and just consistently do it. These 3 things are going to help you, and I can guarantee you that. And like I said, you want to measure your progress along the way. If there are changes you need to make those tweaks. Now, these are things that I have applied in my life and things that I know you can apply. Now, over the next few weeks here of my life, after you see this video, I'm actually going to be starting a Tour de France challenge in which I go out and ride half the miles that the guys do in the Tour de France. Now, that is 2,100 miles that they ride. I will be riding about 1,100 miles in a matter of 3 weeks. And that takes a lot of things, you know, just a lot of things falling into place to make that happen. I've got to have everything planned out and know what I'm going to do. How many miles each day? How much climbing am I going to do? How much food do I need to eat? I've got realistic goals. You know, if I go out there and, you know, say I do the first 2 days at 50 miles each and maybe I'm just hurting a little too much, I know the next day maybe I've got to go out and do 30, and somewhere along the way I'm going to have to make up that extra time. And that comes with being consistent. Like I said, these 3 things will help you be successful. Have that roadmap, have realistic goals, and be consistent. Before I let you all go, do you have something new you want to do? Is there something that you need advice on? Please let me know down in the comments below what I can cover in my next video. I would greatly appreciate it. That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, hell, give it a thumbs down for all I care. But also, no matter whether you like it or dislike it, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very great day. How you all doing tonight? Woo, man, was that fun or what? There was just got hit with an earthquake. There was another earthquake. I'm sure some of you seen the other day when I was talking. Oh man, hold on. You guys are probably getting some feedback there, aren't you? There we go. Yeah, so yeah, we just got hit with another earthquake right now while that part of the video was playing. So wow, that was kind of crazy. You know what's funny is that actually felt worse today than it did yesterday when it happened. Wasn't it yesterday? Dang, I can't even remember. They're all starting to go. All the days are starting to go together, man. You know, and it's got like the earth is shaking, and we're not on the Trailer Park News, are we? Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Now, you guys seen that video that I was doing just now is it's part of, you know, it's the second one of a new series that I'm starting here. And, you know, let me know what you guys think about that, you know, down in the comment section. I see a couple of you already talking about it. Hey, LB, Tracy, how you doing? Aggressively relaxing. Welcome, and thank you for being here. You guys, if you guys haven't seen Aggressively Relaxing's work, you need to go check that out. How is my microphone level? If you guys could let me know down there. Can you hear me well enough? Am I loud enough? Am I too loud? I can't really tell from my end, but if you could let me know. So yeah, a lot of things going on in the news, and you know, a bunch of things going on with Tom Holland, and you know, people outraged about some of the things that he said, and even what's this aerial casting, just a whole bunch of different stuff, you know. And I guess really what I have to say about all of these things really combined is, because it all really has to do with, I don't know, just identity politics, and then also just things, words being taken out of context, or maybe sometimes just like people looking into things a little too much. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think like people just calm down. You know, like just take a breather. It's okay. It's okay. You know, like maybe let's not pay so much attention to these celebrities and what they're saying and all that stuff, or care so much, because does it really matter? Do you really care about these people's opinions? Now the thing is obviously, of course you have to care, because you've got to do, you know, there's obviously this counterculture going on, you know, culture war and everything, and it's pretty ridiculous. But the thing is, I mean, just getting here on YouTube ranting and raving about it isn't doing any good. I mean, we've got to go out there and basically educate others. And you know, if you have children like I have, that includes that really starts with them. I mean, you have an obligation to them to get them really to the world, to make sure that they are raised as good as they can be. You know, you've got to instill your values into them, and that's just to me, that's just a huge thing. It all starts in the home. Now the thing is, like, all these, you know, just these things going on, these casting rumors, you know, we got people griping about Ariel being cast. There is they got a black girl that's getting ready to play Ariel, and a lot of people are upset about it. And you know, I get it. You know, I really do. And that's fine. You know, people are free to be upset about it. But again, to me, like, I'm not really into these movie remakes anyway, these live action remakes. Hell, I'm a big Jon Favreau fan, and I still haven't even seen The Jungle Book, and you know, Lion King's already getting ready to come out. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's how much I like him. That's because I'm telling you, I love Jon Favreau. I think I've seen like every movie he's done. I mean, no, there is another one. Fatal J, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Dang, Jay, you just missed it, bro. We just had an earthquake here, but there was nothing falling or anything here. But you know, I was just you missed my superhero life tips, bro. You missed the second one, but it's gonna be going live here on the channel probably later tonight anyway. So, welcome, Lord Callus. Welcome to the video. So yeah, like I said, you know, all these things with this Ariel casting rumors, to me, like, I get people's outrage over, but I mean, some people, like, I don't know, sometimes I think people just take like the outrage a little too far, you know what I mean? Like, I get being upset, you know, you say your piece and that's it, you know, it doesn't have to be like this thing, just like, it's just like an ongoing thing that you have to perpetuate, because, I mean, to me, when I do things like that and I just sit on it and stew on it too long, like, it just makes me feel toxic, you know, just like inside, you know, like, and I believe that truly happens, you know, that you know, our body's pH and everything, you go from alkaline to toxic, and it just happens because you're not, your body isn't in balance and everything. So the you know, it's just bad. Like, I've been around people, like, actually felt, you know, like, I believe you can feel like people's energy and everything. You can feed off of it, or it can be a bad thing. Because I used to have this guy that was a supervisor, one of my managers at one of my old jobs, and you know, like, there was times, like, a lot of times, like, I could feel like toxicity coming off of him. Like, I couldn't be around him. Like, if I was there, like, somebody else had to be there. And that's the thing. And I kind of feel that's how it gets when, you know, just people just like keep going on and on about these things. It just starts to perpetuate, and like, it becomes not just, I mean, I don't know. It almost sounds like at that point just like belly aching about it. Like, you know, be discontent about it. Yeah, that's all cool, but like I don't know. I'm sure you guys I'm sure a lot of you have seen the people out there just keep going on and on and on about it. Like, yeah, I mean, you express your discontent, and then let's talk about what can we do to fix it. And like I said, that still comes down to, you know, educating people and getting them to realize in a realistic and rational way what your point of view is. Now the thing is, you're probably never going to change anybody's mind. That's the thing. So, you know, there's no reason to really be upset about it, because like these studios, they're going to cast whoever the hell they want in these roles, no matter what anybody wants. Now, the thing for me about this particular casting is, to me, I mean, this is all fantasy anyway, and people are talking about like the source material and stuff on this one. You're like, oh, stick true to that, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, even in the cartoon, it seemed, I don't know, it was just a cartoon. But you know, like I said, I probably won't go see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. And even if I did, whoever can play the role, because I don't think I care enough about this particular movie or franchise to give it that much to give it that much thought, really. Now, this other thing with the Tom Holland, people are upset about that. Now, the thing is you got to go back to the actual source where this news came from. I actually went and checked that out. Let me see if I can find that. I'm not even worried about it, but basically, like, they were interviewing, and now the people that were interviewing him, you could tell what point of view they were trying to interview him from. So they were probably trying to pick everything out of there they could to make it sound as, I don't know that they were not necessarily churching it up, but everything is taken out of context. I always think a little bit, who's telling the story, who's telling the narrative. But even in the actual the people who were actually interviewing him, you could tell they obviously had a bias when they were writing this piece, or the person that did, and that's all fine and dandy. I mean, if you follow this writer, whoever was doing this article, you probably know that person writes like that or is like that, and hey, that's all good. But the thing, like, Tom Holland was actually saying in this interview when I was reading it was, he was saying, it's like basically about the MCU taking on these characters, and he's like there's going to be more diverse characters in them, or there's going to be more representation. Now, but the thing that they're talking about there is, we already seen Joe Russo in Avengers in Endgame, just stuff like that. And of course, obviously, we're probably eventually going to get a superhero and stuff like that. Now, the thing is the way I feel about this is that we might find out that the character is gay or lesbian or anything like that, but chances are we're probably not gonna see them making out and getting it on and having sex in these in a movie, in like an MCU movie. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's gonna come down to them mentioning things like the Joe Russo thing in that movie, or maybe they're just making a joke about it. Because, like I said, they're not, whatever they're gonna do, they're not gonna try to layer it on too thick. Because even like one of my friends was saying and I mentioned this about a month ago, when he was, he don't have any problem with that. I mean, this dude, he's like the coolest dude in the world. He's like, I don't have any problem with that lifestyle. People do what they want. But he's like, I remember watching Ellen back in the day when she came out and everything, and like it was like after that, like every episode it was just like so layered on so thick, and he's like it kind of got old, it made me want to stop watching the show, and I didn't watch it for a while. And he's like, and then eventually, it kind of backed off a little bit. But that just comes down to like lazy writing and just stuff like you don't have to be so on the nose about it. And and I think that's the thing. Hopefully Kevin Feige still, if he's gonna do all that, and we know it's coming anyway. I mean, when he does that, hopefully it's nothing that has to be all just so much like that. Just so on the nose and things like that, because that's when it really gets just kind of like, okay, like we get it, we get it, you don't have to lay it on so thick. But the thing here that Tom Holland actually said in this interview, he was basically saying, look, life is hard enough as a straight white dude, which he's saying he is, let alone somebody else, anybody else, there's whether you're black or white or Russian or German or Indian, like India, from like Middle Eastern and just all that stuff. I mean, life is hard for anybody. And then by the time you get into people's sexual orientations and all that kinds of stuff, obviously, I mean, it's hard for anybody. Is basically what he was. It was basically what he was saying. It's hard for anybody. And that's honestly what I took out of it. But he did obviously say that they are going to be getting more of those characters out there into the movies, and that will probably come by way of characters that we maybe see in the background on movies, or just kind of coming into the foreground as people in the background, and obviously some of the main characters. I mean, we obviously know that it's coming. So again, I mean, we can only expect more of it. We're not going to see less of it. It just all depends on how they do it. Like I said, these things aren't things I care too much about, but when if they start laying it on too thick and everything, that's when I will probably start to tune it out. But even then, I mean, when all this starts to happen, like, you won't see me sitting here going on and on about. I'll just talk about, like, hey, like, here's the reasons why, like in the not so direct ways, because really all of it ties in together, just because it's all this, just this whole culture shift that is happening. Or maybe people think it's happening because they're trying to make it happen. I mean, it's certainly among us. But again, like I was saying, all these same kinds of things, and like I said, people are outraged about what Tom Holland said. And the thing is he's just telling the truth. Honestly, he's just telling the truth. But I've seen like headlines where people are saying like one of these. I was reading. I was on John Talk's channel, and I was. You guys should go follow him. I'm sure if you're here on my channel, you probably do follow him. But he does a lot of videos. Reading articles. Telling some opinions on them and everything. But he was actually reading this one. I think it was on Breitbart, where they said that Spider-Man. It said in the title like Spider-Man. Tom Holland says he wants a gay Spider-Man and all this and that, and he didn't say that. They just asked if. They basically asked if he would see a gay like superhero in the future. He's like, oh yeah, I'm sure we'll have one in the near future. And they asked him if it was possible that we could get a iteration of Spider-Man that was gay. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's possible, And that's the thing is, it is possible. And I mean, are they gonna make a gay Spider-Man ever? Who knows? I mean, honestly, I would think not. Hopefully, they would. No better than to do that. They can just use another one of their tokenized characters to do that. So hopefully not. But the thing is he could be. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. And that's really all he was saying. He didn't. I don't know. Like I said, it was all taken out of context. But like I said, on that headline that he was reading in this article from Breitbart, it says Tom Holland says he didn't say that. It's just stuff taken out of context. And obviously, that's why when you go and you see these things, try to track down the source of exactly where it came from. And if you can't track down the actual source, how about just like go to multiple sources? Try to find out, not just like maybe that's skewered towards your point of view, or maybe actually the oppositional point of view of yours. Maybe try to get a little bit a range of both of them there, because I mean, I think that's really the best way to get an eye on it all, because it's the same thing. Like I had these jobs and everything. He was supervising all kinds of people. You got a lot of different personalities to go with. And when something comes down to it, and if there's not like a third person there or somebody else there that sees something happen, it's just the two people. Like, you basically got to listen to this person, and you got to listen to this person and see what the story is before you can know what you need to do with these two associates, before you can, if you got to like coach them or anything like that. So it just, managing personalities is something I kind of miss about my old job. But yeah, so like I said, it depends on where you are, on where you're getting the information from. And that's, like I said, but I guess that's part of our culture though anyways. Like, people will just see the one thing, and then, maybe you see just one other source and it has like, it says the similar thing. People are looking for provocative headlines and things like that to get you to click on their articles and watch their stuff. And it doesn't even matter whether you like it or not. The second you click on it, they get paid. That's the part of it. That's how they make their money, is driving the traffic to the site. So if there's these things out there and you don't want to see them, like I stopped looking at a lot of these things a long time ago. Like I talked about a while back when I had to monetize the hater in Cosmic Wonder, when he came out talking trash to me when I didn't even say nothing about this dude. But the thing is like, I don't know, like, people, like, they put themselves on this pedestal, and people look like at these people like they're credible sources, and they're not always credible sources. So you got to find a credible source. And like this dude, he does all that kinds of stuff, like all that clickbaity stuff and everything. Like, just don't click on it. So like me, I don't click on the videos. When somebody says something, if somebody like tweets me or something, like, oh, did you see that video? Like, I'll go check it out and be like, check out the headline or whatever they're saying, or maybe check out the video. But other than that, I don't subscribe to these channels like Screen Rant and all that stuff. I know they used to do those pitch meetings that they did. I just, I don't think I ever actually subscribed to that channel anyway. And but I did see a couple of those pitch meetings where I was just like, I don't know. I guess it's just not my cup of tea what they do. And then, you go to their website and all that stuff. And that's the thing, you go to some of these other websites and you get on their website, and all you got is pop-ups and ads everywhere, and you can't click anywhere on the damn site. to without clicking on a damn ad, especially if you're on your phone. I mean, you sitting there scrolling along, and then all of a sudden that just pops up. You're like, dude, I was just scrolling, and now I pushed an ad, and now great. That's really cool. Yeah, I love it. Source came from Fatal J. Okay, I'm gonna get in here and say what's up to everybody. I see we got aggressively relaxing, lonely banter, Tracy, Callus, Fatal J. Dang, hey, I missed the live tips. Yeah, it'll be live soon here on the channel shortly after this. This is all over here tonight. I just got to go through and maybe put a little track over it, and then it'll be all good to go. You can feel people's vibes, their energy. Yeah, totally. I mean, totally. That's like, you can feel people's vibes, their energy, their aura, and stuff like that. Like I said, I've been around people where I've fed off of it. It's like in a good way, and it's just like we were unloading trucks at Walmart. It's just like we're just everybody's just like working good. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like being like on a football team and everything. Like when you see a lot of those championship teams going to like the Super Bowl and things like that. I mean, not only are they all like fucking doped up and stuff, but they're all. Nah, man, did I just glaze over that? Really? I'm just kidding. But like a lot of times, like they get in a flow, and you guys see, like that's the one thing I don't like about the football. That's why I stopped watching football. Was it became a thing where like every single thing, like they gotta stop and do a timeout and do this and do that, and it's like, dude, like you're ruining the flow of their game. Like these guys are in the flow, like, and it's not even over penalties. They gotta check this, they gotta check that. Like, just let the damn game go, man. Crap, dude, like you're ruining it every time, and it's momentum. And like I said, I'm sure we've all seen movies or games where the momentum is going good, and you see something stupid happen, and it's like not even anything that should be stopping the game, and it stops the game for like 2-3 minutes, and you're like, oh, really? And it's like just over the stupidest thing. So yeah, but you can definitely feel people's energy. So I mean, and that's kind of it. You kind of get into a zone, you get into the flow and things like that. And being in the zone is an actual thing. If you're not like if you've never played sports or anything like that, like competitively like that, and hell, you probably even get in the zone if you're playing cards and stuff. So I won't even doubt that. But being in the zone is an actual thing. I've been in the zone a lot of times, and it's almost like time stands still. That's the thing, is like because your mind is so open, you're so alert to everything going on. Your senses are just dialed. They're dialed up, and you're intaking information in so much faster, and just things start to like time slows down. And I think that's a lot of it too. Like when things happen and people say like, oh, I see my life flash before my eyes, or when you see you like see something, it's like, oh man, it was like slow motion. It's because your brain is alert and it's aware of it, and it's wanting to it's picking up those signals and everything so much faster. So I mean, being in the zone is a real thing. But yes, energy. That's okay. We're coming by the show some love. Hello. Man, I still don't. Is it? It's not Myra. Oh man. And I was actually just watching one of your streams the other day. You do a lot of those late night streams. Like I wake up in the morning, and you're still streaming. I'm like, dang. Well, actually, you're streaming because anyway. But yeah, well, I'm out here on the West Coast though. Myra, Moy. Oh man, I know I'm butchering it again. I feel so bad. But I butcher a lot of people's names. LB, everyone's saying hi. Let's see. Source came from Fatal J. Yeah, Fatal J's the man. He knows what he's talking about. He don't just clickbait you in and let you down. He gets you to click that thumbnail and have a good time. That's definitely what I like about Fatal J. And if you guys didn't catch it at the beginning of the video, when I was talking about Fatal J is actually on the panel of God, it's some black guys and a drunk, right guys? Or is it a drunk and some black guys? I'm terrible at these things, but the link's down in the description. You should go check it out. He's there. Lord Callus is there. Lonely Banter is there. I'll probably be there this Sunday. Seeing if I shouldn't be busy. I'll probably be recovering after a bike ride, which is something else I'm gonna be talking about in just a minute. So, yeah, like I was saying, about all these, about just all these the stuff that's going on with all these, you know, the you guys probably see my video yesterday where I was making fun of a lot of this social justice warrioring and agenda pushing and stuff. Like, I don't know. That's something I need some more ideas. What other characters can I do for that Trailer Park News? I know, like that dude does pretty good. Like, should I get no, man. All right. Let's say, should I get some, maybe get some, like some little halter tops or something, you know, get some little Daisy Dukes and, you know, do like an 80s thing. And I've done it before for Halloween, so, but it was, you know, I had some skates. I was rolling around with a little jukebox and everything. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I'll have to see if I can find some pictures. Some black eyes and a drunk. Yes, okay. I was right the first time. Huh. And I figured that's what it was. But yeah, you guys should go check that out. It's down in the description. Good time, good panel of dudes, man. I like it when there's just a diverse group of people here in like thoughts and things like that, and you can tell these are all very sane and rational guys who are on this panel talking about stuff. They've just got the greatest attitudes, man. I've been very fortunate since I've been here on YouTube to come across people that have actually been really great and supportive, and really helped me out in a lot of ways. Even before, you know, I know, God, the first time I went on Drunk 3PO's channel, God, it wasn't even on the Black Guys and Drunk show. It was on, God, what show was that on? It might have been the first one. It might have been the first one, because I remember I got on there, and I know Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers was on there for a minute when I had popped in. And but like, just since that show alone, I've shot up like at least God, I want to say I'm getting ready to hit 300, so I was under 200, so, you know, well, just about 100 subscribers, you know, and just thanks to meeting people like this, LB, Lonely Banter. I've been following him for a while. Lord Callis, coming across him, great dude. Damajani, he's one of the guys on the panel. Abu Nas, very great guy. You guys should have seen this video the other day. Oh man, what was that, on the 4th of July, dude? Like, he was spitting fire, and just like, dude, he put this dude to rest. It was pretty crazy to see. I was actually kind of glad I got to see that live, man. But yeah, God, who else has been there on the show? But regardless, some great guys. Been fortunate to come across them, and another guy I've been really fortunate to come across, and, you know, truly meeting a lot of these people. You know, you get to meet some of these people, these great people, and it's truly humbling when, like, for one, you know, you get them giving you shouts out on their channels and just helping you out. Another guy that has been huge, a huge help to my channel and has helped me elevate my content here on the channel is this guy Ryan over at Nerdy Blurb TV. And he actually does. I'm actually going to start dropping his link in the description in every single one of my videos, because the intro that is actually here on my channel that I use, he actually made that. He actually made that intro for me. And so you guys should go check him out, dude. Ryan is a super legit dude, freaking huge nerd, just like myself. And you can tell he's doing the same thing. He's building, just like Drunk 3PO has done for us as well, is he is building a solid community of nerds and helping promote them as well as himself. And I'm telling you, this dude is like 100% genuine, absolutely 100% legit. I love this dude. When I see this guy, when I actually finally meet him in person, I'm going to give this dude a big hug, as well as any of you other guys out there as well. No homo, bro. No homo, man. It's all good. No, it doesn't have... You know what I'm saying. But this dude Ryan is absolutely great. Go check out his channel. He does a lot of these videos. One of the recent ones he did was called the Fandom Initiative, in which a bunch of content creators went, and he kind of put together like this big giant montage, almost like a trailer, kind of getting us hyped up for Spider-Man Far From Home, and then just kind of like the future of the MCU. And he's going to be dropping some videos here pretty soon, like the individual videos that were submitted for that. So that dude has been absolutely great. But then I've actually shown I've actually been shown some love by a lot of other content creators here on the platform as well. Young Ripper 59 has actually been more than generous as well, talking about me, mentioning me, and I guess giving me his vote of confidence. And it really helps when you get people out there like that doing it. As a matter of fact, Warstu just the other day did the same thing. Now I know you guys know I talk a lot about clickbait and all that stuff, but you know what? And I've talked a lot with Warstu and interacted a lot with him, and dude, this guy catches a lot of shit about that. From other people who actually follow some of these real clickbait artists who actually probably have like almost zero talent, like some of these other just channels out there, and I'm just like, these channels I don't follow anymore. And I've talked about him, and like he's kind of changed like the way he's doing things. Like he's like still clickbaity in the way that you've got to be to get people to click on your videos and go into the content and to reel them in. And like he's worked on his material, and it's been really legit. And the other day in one of his videos, he gave me a shout out as well. And like I said, he's another cool dude. I highly suggest his content, and he is actually a super cool dude. You should see, like, there's times, just like LB is on his channel, when he gets, sometimes he'll get trolls in the comments, and he doesn't even really handle them like in the same way LB does. Like he'll be like, oh, okay, well, like sometimes like go on, like what else, like let me know, like because people are trolling, like let him know. He's open to hearing the criticisms. I mean, like he's a super legit dude. But same thing. He's been really generous like that. And like I said, I've been lucky to, and I guess that just comes with maybe always the type of person that you are the type of people that you attract. You know what I mean? And that means whether people are like I said, it doesn't come down to what the color of your skin is, what your political beliefs are, what your religious beliefs are. You're going to attract like people, and I've been very lucky to attract these same kind of people and to have been noticed and been, like I said, come across these same great content creators since I have been here on this platform. And that's actually going to bring me into the next thing that I want to talk about tonight is some new content I'm going to be doing over the next month. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to come across a lot of people in my life that have helped me out. It's just been pretty much my whole life. I've in a way, I guess you could say, I've always kind of stacked the odds against myself and had to overcome them. And I think that just comes down to a lot of my parents, the way my parents raised me. But there's also when somebody is talented, you just have, I mean, you're going to be talented no matter what you do. Like, I've got a good friend of mine who actually does the music that you hear in my background, that you hear in all of my videos. My friend Kevin, who actually wrote those books, or those songs, I'm sorry. He actually wrote those songs and everything. And like, this dude is like the greatest guitar player I know. And he actually recorded the drums. He wrote some of the lyrics. Like, this dude is like talented, and like pretty much anything he decides to do, he goes and does. And there's just people out there like that. Just like the same thing. Just like people are the creatives. If you you can just be born with good genes. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't born with the best genes, but I will tell you that I actually have some pretty decent genes as well. And that is something you can change some of those things throughout the course of your life. You know what I mean? Like, you might not be able to change, but you got to take steps to make a healthier life just for yourself. I mean, if you're got a predisposition to things. But man, I'm really going on here. But the thing is ultimately, in the end, what I'm saying is I've been lucky to come across people my whole life, and the right people. Like I said, you always attract who you are. We bring them in. And even since I moved here to California, just always seemed to happen to come across the right people, getting promoted at jobs and things like that. And then once I actually, in case I've talked about it here before, I am a cyclist, and I do a lot of cycling. And when I got into cycling, I was fortunate enough to make friends with the right people, and they helped get me into it. and just kind of meeting them actually introduced me to a whole other network of people. Like another good friend of mine, he is a chiropractor, he's a doctor, has his own practice as well. I actually go to him for my adjustments. He's my chiropractor, he's one of my friends, and when I started my business, I go to his business and serve his business. The guy that I met there at the bike shop that owns the bike shop, I used to go in there when they would do the Saturday morning rides, and I would go and set up my snacks and everything in there, and people would come in and buy. They were very supportive, the same way I have been lucky to come across a bunch of great content creators here on YouTube. Now, one of the things that goes along with that is just like we've seen it here, we see in all these different fandoms and everything, is there is always still division when it comes down to these things. Everybody has different thoughts, everybody has different ideologies and things like that, different moral compasses and all kinds of different things. And you always start to see people who begin to be at odds. And I'm one of those people who, I'm not like, when it comes to a lot of things, especially like that, like being like friends with people, acquaintances, and things like that, I'm not one of those draw a line in the sand kind of people and say, like, I don't pick sides in a lot of things. Like, because at the bike shop, there was a one of the guys who worked there, he eventually branched off and started his own bike shop here in town, and it was like a big thing. It was kind of a big rivalry, and it was just, I don't know, it starts to affect the whole scene too. It really did, like the whole cycling scene. And long story short, they all knew too. Like, I'm friends with both of them. I don't care about that stuff. Like, when I was growing up, my cousin was in a gang, and all my friends that a lot of the people, not my people that I hung out with all the time, but I hung out with them. They were friends of mine. They were in another gang, and it was like, and they all knew too. I'm not picking either side here. Like, y'all cool in my book, okay? But nobody ever tried to drag me into things, and that's the thing. I'm not that person, dude. Like, I might not be, and believe me when I say I am a leader, but I might not be the person that's going to take the lead every single time. But one thing I'm definitely not is a follower. I won't say something just because somebody wants me to. I won't just agree with somebody just because, like agreeing to disagree. I just, I'm okay with disagreeing. I am my own person, and I have my own thoughts. And even when I am in a pack, hey, I'm willing to be the odd man out, saying, hey, like, I still feel this way about it. Like, I understand how you feel, but I just don't feel the same. And the thing is some people just can't do that. They're not willing to accept somebody else's opinion, or they let it be divisive for them. And that's unfortunately what happened in this bike shop situation. The same thing kind of happened there. It's just like, I'm not that guy. I buy my bikes over at this shop and everything, and I ride bikes with these guys because these guys are doing the rides, and they're the homies too. So like I said, so it affected those things for a while. So eventually a lot of us kind of broke off, and because they used to do different rides there at the shop. People, I met a lot of people through that, and that's what I'm saying is, you meet, you got to make, you make alliances, you make friends, you make acquaintances with people, and you don't want to burn bridges. And that's the thing, is too many people want to burn, maybe they don't want to burn bridges, but they are inadvertently doing it by maybe being who they are. And that's the thing about, like, with people is extremists. That's one thing I am not, and most of the people that I am ever around and interact with aren't extremists, because extreme anything is just not good for anybody. And so that's the thing. Like, like some people, like, you gotta keep your cool. Keep control of your emotions, because too many people these days just are just driven on their emotions, and that's a huge problem these days. And so like I said. Anyway, man, I'm really going on about a lot of stuff here. Anyway, so there is that, like, you got to just, remain level-headed about stuff. You don't have to draw lines. Everything can be cool. And, sometimes maybe you've got to be the mediator. Even if you're not the mediator, you can still be the in-between person, like, because I used to go into both these shops, and, I was like, hey, what's going on over there? They're just working and stuff, I'm not talking about what they do over there when I'm over here, and I'm not talking about what they do over here when I'm over there. It doesn't, it's pretty irrelevant, everybody knows where I stand with those kinds of things. Like I said, I'm willing to be the odd man out, and I think most of the people that I know and interact with are those same types of people who, though we may agree on a lot of things, they're still willing, with something's they don't agree with. They're still saying that, hey, like, I don't agree with that. But they're also not just going to say something stupid as well, which is kind of what happened to that dude the other day that Abu Nas had to burn to the ground and bury. Wow, that was pretty great. Now, all that being said, like I said, I'm a cyclist, and that kind of stuff happened, and we all kind of branched off and did our own things. Like, so you get to writing, even through there, you get to writing with people who are maybe not necessarily your same level as far as writing, because you got to improve. They help if you're writing slow. They help you get your endurance. They help you get faster. And when you are one of the faster guys, you're feeding off that energy. And so, in case, like I'm saying, you guys know I'm a cyclist, and over the Tour de France is getting ready to start this Saturday, starting tomorrow, and I'm getting ready to start basically be riding 50 miles a day. And so some of my content is probably going to be slowing down a little bit here on the channel, maybe a little bit less produced videos, probably more live videos. You'll probably be getting some more of these those superhero life tips, but also I'm doing this hopefully to motivate you guys, and hopefully you guys can help keep me motivated, because I'm going to have to go out and ride at least 50 miles a day. Now, the thing I was just talking about, even in my video, that superhero life tips I showed earlier, is trying to be consistent. That's a hard thing when I'm going to be trying to ride 50 miles a day for the next 21 days. Okay, and it's actually 23 days because there's 2 rest days in between. And basically, I'm going to be probably live streaming every day, so I can let you guys know where I'm at, how I'm feeling, and maybe you guys can help keep me motivated and help keep me accountable. If not, you guys can at least see the journey that I'm going to go on, because maybe it can help motivate you to getting into something that you want to do. Maybe spending a little more time doing this, maybe being more consistent in something else, just things like that. So, but yeah, I'm going to be riding about 50 miles every single day. And it's not something that's easy to do. I mean, I didn't just start doing, like, my endurance has gone down. It's in the crapper right now because I haven't been putting in the kind of time that I need to be for doing this. But I also have the experience to know how to go out and do this feat, just basically starting cold. And it's a rough thing, you know. And when you're out there, that's you know, if any of you have ever done like this, and I'm sure it applies to other things, you know, like I said, was talking about earlier, you get in the zone, and you just kind of go, and you know, you've got to fight through the pain, you know. A lot of things in life are mental, you know. It's all absolutely mental, and if you can fight through these things, through these mental blocks, through these mental obstacles and things like that, you can elevate. I mean, not just your mind, but your body, your soul, just all of these things that are so interconnected. But the thing is you can't give up. You've got to keep pushing. You've got to keep fighting. When I'm out there on the road and I'm riding my bike, my heart rate, you know, sometimes, you know, like I'm going up a mountain and it's just like, you know, your heart rate's up. Like, you don't just stop. You got to keep going, because you're not just going to turn around. I mean, part of the journey is the end. But so, you know, and it's just, you know, when you do that, it elevates you to the next level. But not only that, you, like I said, you get in the zone, you get into this place where you're actually, you know, you get like this moment, this like clarity. Your mind becomes clearer. You get all this funk out of your head. You can feel just things coming out of it, just like things getting out of your body. I think it's this release that everybody needs. And like I said, a lot of that just is going to come through doing this writing every single day and doing it consistently. But that's the same thing that you've got to do if you've got something that you want to get accomplished in your life, or at work, or anything like that. You know, plan for stuff and go out and execute and just be consistent in whatever you're doing. And that's the same thing like being a YouTube content creator here, and going out and finding ways to you know, to improve your videos, improve your content, and just like I was just talking about earlier, coming across and meeting the right people to that you can help grow with, who are going to support you and you can support back. I mean, because that's ultimately what it's about. When I first got here, I was like, man, this place is like this is like YouTube. It's huge. But you know what? Like, it's really seems like a small community. Like, a lot of people seem to know each other and things like that. So, you know, and I think that's something a lot of people don't take into consideration when they're doing stuff like this. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing some of these videos. I'll probably see if I can get some videos shot while I'm out there on the road, so you guys can see some of those. I actually got another channel that I've got a few videos up on there. I think I've got one produced that I never actually put on there, where I was doing like cycling tips and just things like that, and I was showing some of the rides that I go on. So I'll probably do some of that, just show you guys a little bit of that. I don't want to do like a whole lot of it, because if you're not into cycling and everything like that, believe me, it can be boring. But it's just mostly going to be updates, me here coming here to talk to you guys, tell you guys what's up, and just things like that. And it'll probably happen somewhat early in the morning, because I do still have a job, I do still have a life outside of that. So I'm looking, all these rides are probably going to be 50 miles is probably roughly about 3 hours, a 3-hour ride every day. So like I said, that's something consistent. And like I said, it's just knowing you gotta know what you're getting yourself into, and just having those little goals. Like I know, like I said, there are rest days going into these 21 days. There's rest days. There's 23 days, and during those rest days, they're not days that you can actually rest. Because what happens even on the professional tour, the professional guys in the Tour de France, on their rest days, they still go out and ride. Because you got to keep the legs loose, you got to keep your body used to doing that. There's a lot of muscle memory and everything involved, and we've seen in the past that there are athletes who go out there and actually they take the rest day because maybe they need it, maybe they're sick or something like that, and they actually come back the next day even worse because of it. So you gotta get proper rest and all those kinds of things. Now, granted, I am not a professional, and I am not out there basically with my heart rate going through the roof for most of the ride. So that is a bigger difference. I am not riding as fast as they do, but the speed that I will be going will actually be pretty fast for being basically a one-man show, being out there, being all alone. Because in case there's something you don't know, you probably heard about, but you might think is imaginary, drafting. That shit is real, okay? Drafting is real. 100% real. Because when you're in a group together, like say there's a headwind coming towards you, you want to be right behind the guy in front of you. Right behind him, you want to try to stay on his wheel, because he's blocking the wind for you. And you want to try to stay behind him to get into his slipstream and stay there. And then the people behind you are doing the same thing to you. So you got to know who you're riding with and things like that. You got to trust the people that you're riding with when you're doing this. And the thing is, like, sometimes you don't always get a headwind. You get a crosswind. Sometimes you get a crosswind. Like, you're coming straight and the wind is coming from this way. And that's when it gets rough, because the wind is blowing you this way and you've got multiple guys with you. So instead of riding right in front of each other, in front and back of each other, what you do is you basically offset. So if the wind is coming from this way, you're here, you're here, they'd ride there, somebody else right there, and basically you start spanning it out that way. And when they're in a bigger group, a bigger peloton, they do the same kind of thing. They just got like hundreds of guys in it, but it's the same kind of thing. And then you just have like this mode that you go around. It's almost like a circle that you do, and just taking short pulls to save energy and all those kinds of things. The draft really helps, and you don't take long pulls. You don't push too hard, especially when it's windy, because you gotta go through. I mean, you're trying to conserve energy, and basically I won't have none of that, because most of the people I ride with, even the hardcore cyclists, they're not riding every single day, and because they don't always have the time, or because maybe they do other stuff as well, like strength training or anything like that, or maybe they have family activities and things like that. This is just something that I myself happen to prioritize every single year, going into the Tour de France. It's just something that motivates me, because the Tour de France is absolutely great, especially watching some of these people when they go into the sprints. The sprinters, they are absolutely, them dudes are actually, they're crazy. And then when you get into the mountain stages and you just see like the natural climbers getting out there, just like the little skinny lanky dudes getting on those bikes and just climbing up the mountains, and it's really amazing. And I make fun of a lot of people like watching baseball, but I would say it's about the equivalent of that. Some people would say it's just like watching paint dry, where some of us find excitement in it. So yeah, but there's a lot of tactics and everything that go into it too. Like I said, it's a mental game, and that's what most sports are. So that's what I'm getting ready to do here over the next 21 days. I hope you guys will continue and tune in to some of those videos, and let me know what you think. Maybe keep some words of motivation. It always helps. But yeah, I've actually done some racing, as a matter of fact, as well. And this was actually due to some of these people that I met through cycling, kind of got me into it. But I actually started out doing a mountain bike race because I got this jersey, got the shop jersey for going to do this series of mountain bike races. And I went and I did all these races, and it was really fun. And it actually, I'm a roadie. I ride a road bike. So I went and did these mountain bike races, and after I did them, I'm like, man, I need to do some road races. So I actually went out, got my Cat 5 license, started out and did some races. I did 10 races, I think in that first year, and got bumped up to Cat 4. And Cat 4 was a whole different ball game, but it was kind of still the same. Because in Cat 5, you get a bunch of guys who are brand new, like I was, just getting into racing. And then you get, like, there's a whole bunch of sketchy people that come along too. Because, like, sometimes some of the more powerful dudes, they're sketchy riders, man. They might have skills, might have power and stuff like that, but they're sketchy. So it was pretty crazy seeing something like that. I mean, if you guys haven't seen, say a peloton full of people and 10 of them crash on carbon bikes going at 25 to 30 miles an hour, let me tell you, it's a gut-wrenching sound, and it is a gut-wrenching sight. To me, I think it's far worse than seeing like a NASCAR crash or anything like that. It's gross, and it sounds even worse. Just hearing the bodies and the carbon colliding, hitting the ground, it's not for the weak of heart. But and crazy things happen when you're out there racing too. I mean, if you've never actually been in a competition, like people will, people do strange things in those times. People do get kind of crazy. But so here, you guys got to check this out. I'm gonna show you this. That's my bike right there. It's a Specialized Venge. It is a carbon road bike, as you can see here through the the seat tube, this down tube. See how it's really wide. What that is because it's an aero. It's really wide like that because it's an aero bike. It's made to cut through the wind. So when there's a crosswind, that thing is like a sailboat. They have other bikes that have like thinner tubes and everything that are made for climbing and going up the mountains. But that's the bike I'll ride. That is actually like a, God, what is that? 10,000. It's probably like a $11,000 bike. So it's pretty expensive. Now, I actually kind of got lucky, while unlucky at the same time. I had, that's not the bike, I actually bought a bike and it had a defect in it, so they actually, the company Specialized actually, since they didn't have any more of them particular frames, because, I don't know, it was a couple of years since that had happened, and they didn't have any more of those frames basically, and so they just upgraded me and gave me that S-Works frame. And the S-Works, that S-Works frame, that is the type of frame that like the actual pros actually ride out there when they're riding in the Tour de France. So like that's like, that's like real machinery. And they, like, I've even got, they probably use different gearing though, but definitely the same equipment, because I've got like the SRAM Red on there. It's got the E-Tap, which means it's all electronic, so I don't like actually have to push my shifters in. It's just like, it's like getting on your phone. It's just like push up a button and that's it, and I shift. It's pretty nice. I don't have disc brakes though, the hydraulic brakes, but anyway, that's what I will be riding. It's my trusty bike, and so like I said, I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of weeks, and it's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough. It's not easy, and that's the thing is, like I was saying, everything is mental. There towards like the whole last week is all mental, because I remember the first year I actually went and completed this challenge. During the last week, I actually went to the theater with my family. We went to watch a movie, and I was sitting there, we were watching the movie, and I kind of got anxious. My legs were shaking, just everything, just things that happen. Just your body talking to you, just body language. And it was just like really weird. I'm just like, no, just tune it out. Just tune it out. You still got to get up in the morning and ride. Like I said, everything in our lives is mental. All you got to do is get beyond that mental block or whatever it is to help you, get to that next level that you want to get to. And like I said, that same thing goes to anything. It's all about your mindset. You got to have the right mindset when you're doing stuff. Just like we see, just like all these people who get on this social media and all these things, and they're actually, they're seeking validation through social media, and that's something that far too many people do nowadays, and something that
people just shouldn't do. And we see a lot of people, I mean, not only failing at things, but also, I mean, coming to tragic ends because of that. And, you know, I mean, doing these kinds of things, having a YouTube channel, being a content creator, especially if you come out and ever voice your opinions on things, being on Facebook, being on Twitter, being on, you know, just all these different platforms, it's not for the faint of heart. You know, when you're doing these things, I mean, you got to make sure, you know, hopefully you have the mental stability to be able to go into those kinds of situations and be able to take the kinds of criticisms and things like that that you're going to have to deal with. And not a lot of people have what it takes to do that, honestly. I mean, just I can just tell you that outright. I mean, we all know that. And because we see it all the time. We see these people all the time who just aren't prepared for it, who aren't prepared for the criticism. But they're sure willing to dish it out, though. You know, they're sure willing to dish it out, but they can't take it. They can't take it back. And again, this comes down to mental things, being you know, having a sound mind, having clear thoughts, knowing who you are, you know. And that's the thing, is these days a lot of people don't actually know who they are. They haven't actually went out there and done things to challenge themselves, to push themselves, whether that be creatively, in any kind of artistic way, or athletically, or just anything like that. You know, like some people just, you know, they get into something and they just get comfortable, and that's about it. You know, and it's sad and unfortunate, and that's where, you know, that's kind of where, I don't know. I mean, I get how it happens, you know, being complacent and things like that in life, but that's not how we should be. We should always want to strive for more, even if it's just a little bit more. You should never be content with something. I mean, unless it's something that you should be content with. There are some things you should probably be content with, but yeah, you know, it's Hatebreed. This band Hatebreed has this album, and it's got the perfect title to it, but satisfaction is the death of desire. You know, when you're setting out on something, like I said, starting a new business or anything, you know, don't ever be satisfied, you know, with just a little bit. You know, go after more. Strive for just a little bit more. You want to be a little more successful. You want to build that success. It's going to help you in the long run. And because, you know, at some point, you know, maybe you hit a stroke of bad luck or something. You got to be prepared for it. And that just, you know, like I said, all of that comes with, you know, having, you know, a good sound mind, and being just keeping your mind clear on things, and really thinking rational about things, and not running off of emotions all the time. And like that's the thing, is like these days everybody just has knee-jerk reactions to just about everything, and you know, it gets old. It does. We all know it does. So yeah, and it's the same thing, like I said, even going and doing this bike riding and all that stuff. And yeah, like I said, I will be doing this. Yeah, I'm sure on some of these rides I will have people to go out riding with me, or I will take advantage of other people doing rides. I might go out and do some miles early in the morning, because I'm gonna I've got a lot of stuff I gotta do. Luckily, my kids are out of town for a couple of weeks, which is actually gonna be kind of rough for me, because I've never been without my kids. I'm already missing them. I'm not one of these parents who, like, you know, like in 20 years when they're all grown up, or actually not even that long now, like 10 years when they start leaving the house and everything. I'm not one of these people who's gonna be like an empty nester, like, oh yay, empty nest. Like, man, I love the fuck out of my kids, man. I always want them to be around. And I was just telling this, not them, but, you know, I think my mother the other day, like, yeah, like, I want my kids to always be around, like, when they grow up and, you know, they have their families and everything, they're not leaving. Like, we'll just buy a bigger house, or we'll buy a bigger spot of land, and we'll build a ranch. We'll have multiple houses out there, and we're just all gonna stay together. My kids are staying. Okay, realistically, that's probably not gonna happen, but it's gonna be hard, man. They're gonna be out of town for a couple of weeks, but I guess it will be kind of good for my riding challenge and everything, because then, you know, normally, you know, my wife goes to work in the evenings, and I am here with the kids, you know, so you got to get them, feed them, and things like that. You know, they're not in school right now, but normally I'd be helping them with homework and just things like that. You know, you got to give your kids attention. So, you know, luckily, I talk about that like it's a good thing, but they won't be here. So, I mean, that's a little bit of time that I will have to help rest and recover, get to sleep early, meal prepping, and things like that. You know, because you gotta be meal prepped. You gotta be ready to go. You know, you gotta eat healthy, right? gotta eat healthy, and that's something that I'm gonna have to be doing while I'm out here doing this challenge. Is not only having my salads, having my steaks, having some goodies while I'm out riding, just things like that. That's my dinner. That's my dinner for the night. Oh yeah, 24 hours far too far. Yeah, my kids have stayed the night at their friends' houses before, but yeah, I can't. I miss my damn kids already. Like I'm already missing my son. I came in here into my room to shoot tonight, and I seen his little Spider-Man hat was in here. I found myself sitting there just like staring at it, looking at it like, you know what I mean? And so. Yeah, I know I'm going to miss them. And then my daughters, I'm used to taking them to karate class on Mondays, Wednesdays. My wife sometimes takes them on Fridays instead. My oldest daughter just got her purple belt in karate. Was that last week or the week before? I think it was last weekend when I did the show late. She's got that. Like I said, my kids make me damn proud, man. Damn proud every day. I don't know how, and I tell people this all the time, I don't know how somebody like me has actually managed to raise some fucking great children. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened. Because I'm a high school dropout. I've never finished high school. I don't have my GED. Just don't have any. I don't have any college education or anything like that. I've gone out and sought information and looked into things that I have liked, and I know what I like. And I'm, a long time ago, I realized, like, I think when I was in high school, at some point, I was like, I know what I think I've learned all I really need to learn here. The things that I want to do with my life, that I want to do in my life, I knew at that point weren't anything that I was going to learn in school, and I didn't feel any of it was going to be helpful to me in what I was going to be doing. And in case you don't already know anyway, like public schooling probably isn't the best for kids anyway. Luckily, I grew up at a time when it wasn't the worst, and luckily I came out not brainwashed by all of it. But the thing is, I knew at those times, like, that wasn't my path. I knew back then it wasn't my path. Sometimes I think, like, I kind of wish I would have finished high school and everything. I wasn't that far from finishing high school. It was just like, there was other things. Just I don't know. I was just maybe a dumb kid, but in the end, I think about it, I'm like, but it's not really a regret of mine because it's helped me. It's made me who I am now, and I think I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. So, it's just I am the culmination of my life experiences. Now, that being said, there are plenty of bad life experiences that I've been through as well. I've been a victim of myself as well as been a victim of others. And that's why I very strongly, the way I feel, that's why I feel the way I feel so strongly about some certain things in life. And yeah, I'm sure if you've been here before, you probably might know what they are. But in case you don't, there's a link down in the description you can go check out for Vigilantes for Children. They are some friends of mine. You can go there and buy some shirts and stuff, help show your support for their cause. But basically, they advocate for a safer world for our children because there are a bunch of fucking sickos out there who not only want to rape them mentally, but physically as well. And we should protect our friends, family, and most of all, our children from these people. So that's what their goal is over there. So you should, maybe go check them out. I believe there's Instagram, Facebook, and just different things like that that my friends run. And so yeah, that's like I said, just some of the things that some of the things and how I feel the way I feel. But I think that's all I've really got for today. Chris says, CJ. What's up, Trent? How bad were those quakes that just hit you guys? You know what? Actually, the ones that just hit, they actually felt worse than the ones yesterday. It actually felt worse than that because I was sitting outside. I was like, whoa! Like I actually felt it like shaking and everything, and I was like, holy! I walked inside. I was like, holy shit! And I had like some stuff that was up on a shelf that wasn't secure, so I grabbed it down and I was like, put it down on the ground, and I was like, whoa! And I'm all sitting there looking around for anything else, and Mayuno, she's like, she's like, don't be scared or anything. I'm just like, I'm just looking for anything else that might be falling, you know. Like, I'm not scared, but like I was sitting there, like I was like, oh damn, like it was exciting. It was pretty damn crazy. Yeah, I'm wondering how much we're gonna get. I mean, our weather around here has been weird, man. It hasn't been earthquake weather, but we're definitely, you know, we're just finally starting to get into the hundreds here now. So 7.1. I haven't been on the news. Like it happened while I was here doing this live stream. So I haven't seen any news or anything on it. Wow, 7.1. Where did it happen at? Where did it happen? I need to check on my house. Stay safe, brother. Text me your address, dude. I can drive by and check it out. I can't go inside. I mean, unless you want me to break in. I'm sure somebody else has probably broken in already, and I can go in there and check it out. You guys stay safe. No more earthquakes. Yeah, I know, man. Like, did it happen in the same spot? Was it like out in Ridgecrest? I'm not sure where it happened at. Like I said, that happened when I started doing the live stream here. Like, one of the videos was going. I was outside and I was coming in, and like that's when I started feeling shaking. I was like, oh damn. You know, it's so funny. After that happens, you kind of feel like you just kind of feel like things are just constantly shifting after that. You know, like, am I still feeling that, or is that just me? Yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. And the thing is where I live at, we basically live like right at the fault line, the San Andreas Fault. It's like just it's miles from me. It's not very far away. As a matter of fact, our local freeway runs right next to it. Runs right next to it. So. Okay, you guys stay safe, no more earthquakes. Yeah, and thanks, Comic Boom. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. It certainly felt like it was a lot rougher than yesterday. So two more just hit a few minutes ago. 3.1 and 3.4. See, and that's making me wonder, because like I've been sitting here kind of doing. I've been wondering if I'm feeling some swaying too still. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, crazy. I don't know what else. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, if I'm scared, it does no good to be scared. And you know, when I'm gonna try to like leave all of a sudden, I'm just gonna take all my stuff and just like leave. You know, like I mean, my kids are headed out of state already. They're with my mom headed to spend some time at her house. But yeah, I guess we gotta run for the hills, right? Yeah, I don't know, man, but that's crazy. Just text you the news about them, supposedly more to follow. Wow, man. All right. Yeah, I'll check that out. That's crazy, dude. Let's see. 7.1. Yeah, in the same place, huh? Same exact place. Crazy. Yeah, like I said, it felt like a lot. It was a lot. It felt worse than it was yesterday. Dang. I'm sure there's more to come. Hopefully this don't affect my bike riding, man. I still got to get my challenge done. I'm not gonna let an earthquake stop me. Hopefully I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna mention that. Shut up, Trinity. Shut up. I heard someone fell over. Such devastation. Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here on the 2nd Street Marvel today. Like I said, I am going to be starting that Tour de France challenge tomorrow morning. I am probably going to see if I can get out and start riding at 5 a.m. So I want to get here and get to sleep. I'm going to have the salad really quick and then hit the sack. Thank you all so much for tuning in to 2nd Street Marvel today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, where I will probably be coming in and doing a live video, doing a live update of exactly how my bike ride went yesterday and things like that. Thank you all so much for tuning into the 2nd Street Marvel today. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. If you like this video, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's all cool too. I don't really care about that kind of stuff, but I would prefer you leave one or the other. Leave a like or a dislike at least, you know. Come on. And but also leave a comment down in the comments section, and most of all, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the 2nd Street Marvel. You all have a very good evening, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.